All right. Yeah. So again, this is my dashboard, and it's completely customizable. And as you see that, this is my quick notepad. I keep on adding stuff whenever I have some meetings and stuff like that. This is a calendar, which basically I've linked it to my. It's integrated with my Gmail, so it pulls all the data from my Gmail calendar and it shows me here. And here I have like tasks assigned to me. And Sketchnote is like pretty special in this case because you can add as many organizations that you want to see here. So I'm working with a lot of organizations, but I just want to see only the tasks which are assigned to me in my organization. And also this is my co-founder's organization, which is actually a micro VC based in Singapore. And basically this is the deadlines. I've finished all my deadlines, as well they're not showing in here. And I'll come to the files in a bit, but this is a fun widget, which is like a lo-fi chill zone, wherein people love to listen to lo-fi while they are working and just keeps on playing and stuff like that. It's just fun and people love that. Plus we've got a blog. So basically our blog is we've got blog and podcast here. And we are very, very active, and it's especially made for like early stage entrepreneurs. We post one blog every 2 days. Now for these things like files, right? What are these files? For that to understand, I need to explain you the hierarchy of how we have the structure for all the files. So essentially what happens is, on the top of it, we've got the organization. Below the organization lies the workspace. And workspace is essentially basically a folder. And within the workspace lies the file. And the file has like many views, and I'll show you what these views are in just a second. So again, just to repeat, you've got organization, then the hierarchy comes down to workspace. Within the workspace, there is file, and within the file, there are many views. So this is like, the way we have done this is that, I can add like unlimited workspaces. So this is my workspace of my tech team, design, QA, and stuff like that. So let's say I want to show you the repository of my tech team. So these are the workspace members who have access to all these files in the tech team. Right. And I can, basically I have favorited certain things, and I'm working with this. So basically it just shows me, the files that, I always, keep coming back to. So let's say that, I want to show you the backend task, right? So I've opened a file, and, in this file, I've added Kanban as my default view. So you see that this is a full-fledged Kanban board. And it has got, integrations in place as well. It's got, so I have integrated GitHub, and also I have integrated Slack as well. Plus it comes with filters. So it comes with quick filters as well as advanced filters. So I'll show you what these quick filters are. So basically in the quick filters, I can see the people who have access to this Kanban board. So let's say that, I want to see only my task. I can see my task, I'll clear all. And then if I want to add like, a filter here, which is basically, you can just go crazy. You can see the task according to the assigner, assigned to, priority, status, and label as well. Because, we work in a Scrum fashion. So that's why, we've added all of these. So let's say that, I want to show you how these things work, right? If I click on this particular task, I'll make it full screen. So basically, you see that it comes with a full-fledged time tracking. So, I can just go crazy here, and I have time log range, and it just basically shows me all the times that I've logged on this particular file. And also, it comes with like custom fields as well. So these custom fields are essential, especially if you want to use this as a CRM as well. So you can actually, customize all these particular fields, and you can work on it. It also comes with subtasks, and you can see, then it comes with like, priority label, attachments, and comments, etc. Then also, it comes with like watch tasks. So essentially, if I am, basically, if I'm not marked on this task, but I want to see all the things which are going on this task, I can actually just start watching the task, and I'll be getting notifications in my email. There comes with like a task history as well. So basically it shows me all the things that has been happening on this particular task, and I can go from there, right? Also, I can also have, when I'm starting it, I can have like task templates. So basically what can happen is that, suppose if you're like making a complex CRM, right? Then you've added like custom fields and stuff like that. So every time you're adding a task, you don't want to specify all those custom fields. So you can actually use the task template, kind of the feature that I have, and you can just replicate those custom fields over and over again. Plus, I've added a whiteboard view. So we've got whiteboard, and that replaces FigJam or Miro, which costs like $25 per user per month, and so on and so forth. So you see that I've imported one template here, and you can just like, it comes with full-fledged remote collaboration in place. So I've imported a template. So you see that, we also have a full-fledged template library. And especially we are focusing on, startups and SMBs. And what you can do is that you can just select this particular thing and import it here. So I've imported this lean UI UX canvas template, and I can keep working on it. Then I've got timesheet in place because I've got time tracker. So I've added like timesheet view as well. So it actually just shows me that in detail, that reports basically about who spent how much time on this particular task and so on and so forth. I can see whether it was billable, non-billable, and so on and so forth. Then I've got analytics as well. Once you add this analytics, you do not have to see anything, like you do not have to generate the report. The best part is that once you add the analytics view, you can actually see like complete details. It's automatically done for you, right? So for example, if I'm a CEO or if I'm a project manager, I can actually see in this particular project how productive people were. So for example, they can see that the assignee workload, and then afterwards I can also see that individually how many people were actually working on what the tasks are in progress, in backlog, and so on and so forth, right? I can also see all the tasks in the list view. This is like kind of a Monday feature. Monday.com actually started with this feature, and this is like the bread and butter feature for Monday.com. And Monday charges like $60 per user per month. This is we are just doing that. And we've got the calendar view as well. So as I said that it's like synced with my Google Calendar. It shows the entire month that I have in here, and so on and so forth. Plus, I've got like an embed as well. So basically, this what happens is that you have like weekly calls with our investors, and they keep on like whenever I'm having, they keep on asking me for the financial projections or so on and so forth, etc. So all the time I have to keep on searching in the Google Drive that where it's going and stuff like that. But when I'm actually like having those calls with those investors, I just like just embed it my Google Sheet or the Google Doc and so on and so forth, and I can have the entire view in just like one admin dashboard, right? We also have a Gantt view. So if you're like into project management, you can just see the Gantt view. We have a sheet view, which is our implementation of Excel. So you do not have to rely on Microsoft Excel or Google Docs or Google Sheet. You can actually use this, which is inbuilt, and it comes with like complex formulas as well. So you can just go crazy on it. So, and plus we've got, last but not the least, we've got the document view. I've not added much, but I'll just, you can see that, I can add whatever I want images. I can just like show it to you here. I'll show you that, our design workspace and how our design team actually, does their research and how do they document all their data in here as well. So we are working on a very complex onboarding because obviously there are so many moving parts to our platform. That's why we are working on a very detailed onboarding. And this is how the design team was doing the research, that, they were doing competitive UI, UX research, basically checking what are the things. And then, they were actually kind of like, putting all their data in here, that probably this is how it should be. So this is a document, right? And you can see that it is a full-fledged document. People compare it with Notion, but all the bells and whistles of Notion are in here. In fact, the only thing which is missing is the AI, and we are actively working on that. So by the end of April, we will be having AI in our documents, in our Kanban, and also the LMS as well, also the forms as well. So that was what, plus the document comes with like, so let's say that, I want like version history as well. So if I'm collaborating with like some of my team members and, I see that, oh, I want to see the version history, what I did on March 23rd or something like that, I can actually restore that version as well. So it comes with the inbuilt version history as well. So also there's one more view that, which is a super important view, which people just love it, and which is forms. So you can actually come up with forms on Sketchnote, and you can just go crazy. For example, we organize startup meetings here in Mumbai. So the entire startup meeting form was done from Sketchnote, and everything was handled from Sketchnote. So this is how I made this form, and this is how the form looks to the end user, right? So you can preview the form, that how it will actually look like. And these are the results basically, that how the forms how the users actually come in. And so 48, there were 48 users basically who enrolled for that startup meet, and I just like segregated by who were pitching and who were just attending and so on and so forth. Plus I can also, it automatically gets imported into our Excel sheet, and you can actually just download all these responses in the CSV if you want to export it out and so on and so forth, right? So you can see all of these views when you are actually starting on a new file. You can actually see all of these new views when you're actually starting it. Having said that, I forgot that we've got extensive template store across document, Kanban, board, list, form. So you see that we've got more than 250 such templates in our template store. So you can just quickly get started with whatever you want across marketing, design, VC, human resources, and so on and so forth. And the reporting thing is a tab and a feature which is available only to the admins of the organization. So what you can do is that the admins, who are usually the CEOs or HR or something like that, and they want to see how productive their company has been. So you can just select a time frame, and it will automatically, basically, come up with all of these data, right? It will come up with like workload, team velocity, team capacity, and stuff like that. We are working on AI insights as well, where it tells you that this team member can be allotted more tasks. You are like not allotting more tasks to him or something like that. I know it's a little bit iffy, but people just love this, right? Because they want to know that who's actually working, who's not, especially if you're working on a bigger organization. You want to see how the person is actually working or not, right? And then you can actually go crazy, and then you can just see how this person has been faring and all. And believe it or not, people love this kind of a feature. Plus, we've got my task, wherein like it pulls all the data from across everything, and it just shows me in here, right? And so basically this was what the productivity and the project management. But I promised you that, I wanted to show you that how other people are actually using it as well, right? So for example, I'll show you some proprietary data. So this is how our micro VC uses Sketchnote, right? So this is, they manage the entire deal flow funnel using Sketchnote. So let's say I'll just view all their files, and I look at the deal flow funnel, right? This is a huge file. They have been doing this since 1 year, and so this is a huge file which is there, and their primary view is Kanban. So you see that essentially the leads are coming in, and all these are like startups, right, across Asia, and they have been scheduled, so for a call. Then the GPs analyze the deal, and they have been, then they have been monitored. So for example, let's say this particular startup. So you see that, already they have customized this according to their needs, whether the due diligence URL goes here, the deck URL goes here, the email, who's the founder, what are the KPIs and stuff like that. Then the description of that particular startup, right? Then people add, the GPs add all, you see that in just one particular task, how detailed they are going in and that kind of stuff. Plus in that, they upload their the PowerPoint in the attachment. And then the GPs basically keep on chatting on their comments on basically what is actually happening in here and stuff like that. When for me, I just see the task history of what is actually happening in here, and I just go and I see what is actually happening. And these are approved. We have invested in 30 startups so far, and a lot of rejection, lost, and stuff like that. But for me, if I want to see as an outsider, I just see the analytics, right? So there were 103 completed tasks. There were total 209 startups. These were the GPs who were allotted this thing, the assignee workload, and how many were rejected. It's automatically being just plotted for me. I don't need to do I don't need to use any Tableau or anything like kind of a complex software. I just see everything, like, this GP has so many deals, and this GP is looking at this deal and that kind of stuff. I don't take part in this. I'm just a director, a sleeping director in this. And so I don't take part in this, right? So yeah, that's, and plus, I forgot to show you, this is like a split screen as well for people who are like a lot productivity nerds or something like that. They just want to see all their data in like a split screen, and they go for it and stuff like that. So I'll just stop it. And 1 minute. Yeah, a lot of data, and that's why it took like a lot of time here to pull all this data. So just a second. I'll go back 1 minute. I think my Firefox has hung. Just a second. I'll just refresh this before I go back. Yeah, just stop. Oh, my Firefox is on. I'll just go. And let me just give me 1 second. Yeah, okay. I'll go back to my organization. And now I will show you the academy part, the knowledge management part, right? I'll just click here. And then you see that, I am in my knowledge management part. And here, what we have done is that we have given you, as in like the startups, like a pre-filled library, like a complete pre-filled library across culture, operations, fundraising, ideation, feasibility, legal, and so on and so forth. So I'll tell you, basically, in my previous startup, which got acquired in 2017, I spent like about $85,000 only on the law fees. And especially for like early stage startups, that becomes like a crazy amount of money, right? So what we did is that, for example, when I click on this legal thing, what we did is that, we partnered with my law firm in the US and India, and we came up with like agreements which are absolutely essential for early stage startups, right? So let's say that, people want to learn how to raise money with SAFE. So what we are saying is that before generating this document, why don't you spend like 15 minutes only learning about what SAFE is and stuff like that? And you can go ahead. I've learned this already, but you see, I can just like go back here, and you see that the way we are teaching this is in the form of flashcards. And basically what you can do is that you can actually listen to the flashcards as well, right?
SAFE versus convertible note. The difference between a SAFE and a convertible note, more on that later, is
So I can just go ahead, and this is like in a form of like MCQs. So, you learn, and then, this is like kind of an academy part, and then you can just go ahead and stuff like that, right? Once you're done with this, you can now go ahead and you can use this template. And you see that the template is already been generated for you. All you need to do is just customize it according to your needs, and you can generate this, and or keep working on it, download it, whatever you want to do, right? So just like this, we've got this entire repository of more than 250,000 words worth of content across culture, fundraising, ideation, and so on and so forth. We actually have copyright and trademark in the US and India for this content. HCL was contesting against us, and we actually won that in the US. And but the main idea was that, okay, we wanted to show that this is what we have done. But everyone has been asking us, including like VC firms, like accelerators as well, universities as well, and they're like, hey, that's great, awesome, that's amazing, this is your content, but we also have our own content, and we want to be able to generate our own content and distribute to our either employees, students, or stakeholders, and so on and so forth. And that's when we started working on the LMS. We've been working on this for like about 5 months time, and we'll be releasing this LMS in the next 15 days time. And this is how the LMS actually looks like. So I'll go back, and you see that this is the LMS. So since I'm the admin, I have the rights to create a lesson. So you see that I have created this lesson, which is like POSH guidelines, which is absolutely essential, a mandatory thing if you are more than about 10 people company, right? So I've created these POSH guidelines, which is Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act. So I've created this thing where I can actually add images, videos, GIFs, and audio content. And we are also working on AI integration as well. And then you can see the enrollments, and then you can see the settings of that particular course as well. And now I'll show you how this actually looks like for the end user. So I go back here, I go to the learner, and you see that I've distributed that to the learner, and basically these are the POSH guidelines. And you see that I can see what's inside here before actually I start this content, and I can start learning this. So you see that this is what it is. I can see all of these things here, and I can go ahead. I can see the videos. I can I can tag all the comments. And once I'm tagging the comments to my users, to my employees or friends, they would be getting like this thing. It comes with like MCQs as well. So basically it shows me in here and stuff like that, right? This is all done. It just took me like 15 minutes to basically come up with this. But this is a full-fledged LMSs. LMSs cost starting from like $25,000 in like in an enterprise setting. So this is like actually like a very big feature and a boon for people within like organizations and enterprises. And eventually what we'll be doing is that we'll be adding a Stripe functionality. So if you want to basically distribute it to outside people and collect money while if you're a content creator, you would be able to do that as well. So this becomes like a very powerful tool. Once I'm done with this, I can just go to the dashboard and it's done. And then basically it will the instructor will be getting the thing that this employee has completed this particular training or LMS, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's where we are when it comes to what we have done. We have a lot of new features planned, but even with this as well, it is we are definitely much more ahead of the curve as compared to the other competitors like Asana, ClickUp, or Notion, which do not have all these features. We will be the only solution which basically tags 3 main components to run a successful organization, and that would be project management, knowledge management, and the third will be CRM, which will be working. So yeah.